debuts this afternoon in the Sale Sharks team. Fly half Tom Curtis links up with Will Cliff, whilst at fullback Joe Carpenter joins a dynamic duo on the wings in Marlon Yard and try-scoring sensation Danny Solomona. Well, Glasgow Warriors welcome back Fijian international Leone Nakarawa back to the ranks. He's one of 5 changes that battled to a thrilling 31-all draw in last week's match against the Exeter Chiefs. In the front row in comes Aki Siuli for Ollie Kebble, who drops to the bench. Ryan Wilson moves to the blind side, and Tom Gordon makes his first European start. In the backs in comes Ali Price to partner Adam Hastings at half-back. DTH van der Merwe comes in on the left wing with Carl Steyn switching to the right flank. And keep an eye out for Glenn Bryce at fullback, who's retained after his debut in that position last week. Well, on the replacements bench, Glasgow Warriors can call upon the Horn brothers, George and Peter, who will add pace and energy to proceedings. For Sale, well, there's one eye on the future with 4 20-year-olds waiting in the wings. Carlisle, Dugdale, Warren, Redpath. And watch out for 19-year-old Tom Roebuck, who made his debut for the club last week against La Rochelle. Well, the bagpipes are ringing round the stadium. It's been a beautiful winter's day down here in Manchester, but as the sun went down, certainly the temperature dropped. But there'll be plenty of action out on the pitch. I'm glad to report that Austin Healy has made his way up from pitch side, and Austin, we're looking forward to an open game of rugby this afternoon.
Yeah, we really are. I think Glasgow will come out here, they'll chance their arm. They've got a very strong back line. Looking forward to seeing van der Merwe versus Solomona. Solomona not first choice at the minute, have a point to prove, so that'll be a great battle, as it will be at 10. Young versus old. Well, not so old.
And as we were saying in the line-up and the intro into this programme, you know, Steve Diamond, he's certainly selected a young team, and that man there for Glasgow, Leone Nakarawa, returns to action, having been dumped by Racing earlier on this season. There's Steve Diamond, that he looks on, and lots of hope and optimism here for the Sale Sharks. They've done well in the Premiership, played 8, won 4. They haven't done so well, only 1 win in the European Cup. Of course, they can't qualify for the knockout phases. Glasgow can, but they need to score a bonus point try to really keep hanging in there by their fingernails. Well, our referee in the middle is Pascal Gauzer from France. Maxime Chalot and Jonathan Dufour are on the fringes as his assistants.
Right, left.
So a healthy travelling support came down the motorway from Glasgow. Ryan Wilson will captain the team this afternoon, with Callum Gibbons as co-captain, cited last week for an illegal charge and was banned for 2 match games. And here the first look at Tom Curtis, 18 years of age, starting here in the European Heineken Cup. Sale versus Glasgow. Sale with a quick kick-off it, playing in the white, right to left. Glasgow in their traditional black and blue jerseys, as Scott Cummings switches the play into Hugh Jones. Up to the 10-yard line, Glasgow Warriors go. This is Johnny Gray, Adam Hastings, and just Sam Johnson.
Pushback.
Ali Price on that far side, recalled to the action. George Horn drops down onto the bench. It's a rotational policy, according to the Glasgow Warriors coach, Dave Rennie. Good, confident take there from the fullback, the youngster Joe Carpenter.
Leave it. Thanks to
his debut a couple of weeks ago against London Irish, and Sale Sharks with intent, but they've spilt by Sam Johnson. So a bright and breezy start here from the Warriors. The overhead pass to Carl Steyn, and Steyn taken and tackled to the ground by Marlon Yard. Price sets up the ball. Drive came through there from Tom Gordon. And this is DTH van der Merwe. Austin Healy was talking about this man earlier on. Canada's top try scorer. Inside pass to Hugh Jones once again. That's the second time he's cut that angle in the opening minute and a half.
It's definitely something they've spotted, haven't they, on Sale's defence. Drift quickly, Often leave space on the inside if the guy on the far side guard doesn't come track round and fill the space. Good start by Glasgow.
Cummins getting over the gain line there, carrying the ball well, and Johnny Gray, who played against Exeter, his new employers, he signed a couple of weeks ago, and the fast hands here to DTH van der Merwe. He's strong. He's just brought down inches from the line by Danny Solomana. There's an advantage coming from a penalty offence. Nakarawa drives for the line. Nakarawa, what a start by Glasgow Warriors. And what a return to the Glasgow colours from this man here.
All started from the break on the far side by van der Merwe. Danny Solomona steps forward out the line and then has to return and catch him, as he does well to bring him down. It's a nice play. Watch the timing of the pass from Hastings. Out the back, Johnson, he gets the ball away. It's just Solomona there, makes the tackle, goes high, so he gets carried for another 5 metres. He then kills the ball but gives away the penalty, but doesn't kill it properly. They recycle and the big guy goes over.
All is clear.
It's a fantastic start. 20 odd phases they go through.
Well, that's just the opening that Dave Rennie would have wanted for his team, chasing a bonus point victory here at the AJ Bell Stadium. And well, they retained the possession well. And the kick to come from young Adam Hastings, who has a 89% success rate, 17 out of 19 kicks successful in the European Heineken Cup. Tremendous conversion. 3 minutes on the clock, and already Glasgow Warriors up by 7 points to 0.
Yeah, here's the break on the outside, as you see. Solomona goes high, so he gets carried for 5 metres. They stop them there, but they don't kill the ball. What that means is they can't get rearranged. The forwards are too wide, and then they get the latch over the top, carry the Sale defenders over the line.
Well, also we saw 62 points last week against the Exeter Chiefs. Played against Glasgow Warriors at Scotstoun, and well, if it goes at this rate, we might beat those points.
I think it's always an open game if the weather's good with Glasgow. It's just the way they play. They like to be expansive, they like to go through the phases, and they do make mistakes and concede points because of it.
Hastings with that kick pass option again. It bounces into Sale Shark's hands, covered here by Solomona. Will Cliff, he got across there quickly.
That's the turnover.
Good work by Fraser Brown, the Glasgow Warriors hooker on that occasion. Of course, he has played both hooker and in the back row, and adds so much to the offence.
We saw that last week. He made turnovers last week, as did his front row teammates as well. Very good and very strong over the ball, as you'd expect from the front row guys.
And again, this man here, he's another look at that turnover.
You just see there, Ross Harrison actually carries very well, but almost too well. He gets long when he lands on the floor, and that means it's very difficult to get immediately past the ball. Sometimes you're better off losing half a yard and making the ruck shorter.
Well, those of you who like your stats, it's Glasgow have a 92% success rate in the Champions Cup, 83% in the Pro 14. Gordon comes off the fringes, feeds the ball. This is DTH van der Merwe once again coming in off that left wing and causing real problems in the midfield Sale Sharks defence.
That's a bad decision. I think the Sale players lose their feet on the initial point and then still go for the ball. Curry comes in as a secondary, but the initial impact, for me, it looks like... Oh, here we go.
Stop! Oh!
Dave Rennie barking instructions down there when, well, Ben Curry was certainly aggrieved, wasn't he? He was having a real dig at Fraser Brown. Let's have a look at this one.
No, John Ross just nudges Price in the back, doesn't he, as he's kicking the ball away.
Captain!
There's a lot of lycra in those shirts, fortunately.
Well, thank goodness I can't lip read, but let's listen into the referee here.
I wait you.
Well, John O'Rourke tying up his bootlaces. He's the man who started. Well, did he start it? Because you mentioned Ali Price just kicking the ball. Listen.
Only done against you. You're number 9. Take the ball. I don't give the ball to play the penalty. I give 10 meters more. Okay? Just control your player. When I blow my third, nothing. You have a word with your player. Yeah, stand there.
See, I actually think that's good officiating because it's all started by somebody doing something illegal. What comes next of it is just something of nothing.
With your player.
John O'Rourke pushes him in the back, but there's nothing in there. He hasn't caused any damage. He's just trying to start the game. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, I also like the way that he added an extra 10 metres as well. And
I think a stern telling off as well could have been added.
It is. They're kicking the ball away.
Wait. It's 2 balls.
Thinks he was playing for Man City this afternoon, I think.
Time on.
Playing in the wrong direction, mind.
Chance for Sale now to get into the game.
Curtis Langdon then finds the line out well and a little short bump pass up the middle channel. Here's Curry inside. Yard had run the angle, but Curry had just thrown the dummy. That's Ben Curry.
Stay.
Sale through Ross. He's tackled and bundled to the deck. Good defence there from the Warriors as Phillips acts as scrum here. This is Yard stepping back against the grain. Cummins just latches onto the bootlaces and in goes Akisiuli.
So it's a dangerous angle that when a winger goes back against the forwards. They turned it over
It's a
though.
loose ball again. So a charge down there from Hugh Jones. It's going to spill out on the other side, but original knock on.
Sur la ligne, premier en avant, du blanc, du 6
Just a little bit messy from Sale. I suppose you'd expect a little bit of that with a new team coming together.
And we've seen a couple of times, Austin, that Glasgow are looking for that inside pass on the attack, and that was another indication when Curry went through. He was looking to shape Yard into that space as well.
No pre-engage, no leaning, control your body. Yeah. No, this is left.
Well, you love your stats. There you go. They're 88% at the scrum, which is 15th.
Fine.
With more penalties than anyone else at the scrum time.
Yeah, actually, it's both teams have actually won 14 scrum penalties. Although it's showing that graphic, Glasgow won 14. So have Sale, but Price takes a quick one. Sam Johnson. This is Hastings. Glenn Bryce, first touch of the ball from him. The runs good angles. This is Gray. Gray spins in the tackle. Price opts to go down that blind side. It's a short channel. So Price regathers ball and sets up again. The offload from Wilson was into Gray. This is Johnson. Johnson trying to break on that inside arc. Gets the support of Price. Hastings with the long pass to Jones, and good pass out to Bryce once again. Solomona with that great tackle, stood his ground. Akisuali takes ball on for the Warriors. That's the 22-metre line of Sale as Nakarawa comes round the fringes. Price once again feeds Hastings. Super tackle. Ross was involved, but also was Matt Postlethwaite as Nakarawa comes through. He's going to get the offload. That's Price. Sale right over the ball. No advantage, but the threat to Nakarawa when he gets that big limbs of his and levers round the back of the tackler.
You just see the contrast and how difficult he is to defend against. First of all, he carries, puts his head down, makes 2 or 3 metres, gets a fast ruck ball, and then he stays upright. As you said, frees the ball in the tackle. This is the initial hit. It's a big old hit. And then they fall on the top. I think it's a bit harsh, that penalty. It's whether the arm's wrapped by John O'Rourke here. Yeah, I think that's fine for me. Easy to see from the other angle.
Okay. Pascal. Yeah. For me, it's full play. He just put just for
there's the offload again.
We talk about Nakarawa's offload, but Johnny Gray was up there as well with an offload himself.
Yeah, it's good play all across the field from Glasgow. They've got threats everywhere, haven't they?
The forearm hits the head.
It's not like Sale though. They normally, if they win that positive tackle, they normally pile into the breakdown.
talking about just a penalty. He just puts forearm with no force on the player or feet. Just, Eric, I want to review the...
Well, this is the Sale Sharks captain, John O'Ross.
8 white. I will show you the angle.
So let's look at this this no-arm tackle.
So we have a tackle, and then he moved the
It's
forearm.
hard to
from
see
the
from
head
that
of the
angle
player.
because you can't see the shape of his hand.
In the big screen. The tackle is legal by the 2 white player, and in the second time, number 8 white drive into the head with no force, with a forearm for me is penalty in yellow card.
Yes, I agree with you.
Team agree? Jonathan? I agree.
Well, this is going to be a bit of a shock, I think, because it looks to me like John O'Ross falls after the hit on top of him.
The tackle is legal, but in the second time you put a forearm on the head with no force, but it's penalty in yellow card.
So it's not so much the tackle, Austin, it was the way he went down on the player.
I think it's worth seeing it one more time. The tackle's fine. You look at the shape of the hand. If your hand is facing behind you, then you've tried to hit with your shoulder. If your hand's forward, it's fine. So his palm's forward, that's fine for me. Now, I don't think that's a yellow card. I think that's very, very harsh. He's hitting the tackle. His momentum's gone forward. He's slipped forward onto him. I'm not sure where he's supposed to put his hand.
And no force.
And no force. Just a penalty for me, even if it's a penalty.
Pascal Gosser's made his mind up though, so Glasgow Warriors have the power play now. Now, will they drive this line out with John O'Ross, the Sale Sharks captain, in the bench? Brown, who always pivots at the back. Well, Fraser Brown's looking strong here. Tackled on the flank by Will Cliff, the scrum half, but well, they've gone all the way. And Fraser Brown, did he carry it the full distance? He did. And did he do well, the Glasgow hooker?
He did incredibly well once he breaks off the bat, but Dennis Solomona again goes too high, gets above the ball. You watch as he breaks out here, Brown. Solomona there's way above his shoulders. He's got to get his body weight underneath, stop the drive, and then you get under the ball as well. Finds himself over the top, and it's too easy in the end for Glasgow.
Well, for Glasgow to qualify for the knockout stages of this Heineken Cup, they need to win here and score 4 tries to certainly force the issue and have themselves in a strong position. They'll have to rely on results tomorrow, but they've started sprightly. 2 tries, 1 converted by this man, Adam Hastings. Can he convert from wide out? Fraser Brown's second try for the Warriors. Hastings measures the angle and slots the second conversion home. Glasgow 14, Sale Sharks 0.
He called it on the drive-in ball, really tight. Look at all the Sale forwards spinning out on the floor out the back. They tried to collapse it, even though Will Cliff can't hold on enough. Like I said, they don't get underneath the ball. First thing you've got to do there, if you're a kid and you're playing tomorrow and you see a driving ball, get underneath the ball. You go over the top, you'll get driven off it.
This time Glasgow retain the possession from the kickoff of Tom Curtis. Just a set exit strategy in play, and Glasgow looking to run the ball here. This is Jones. Hugh Jones has a little step and go. Solomona just let him run. There's DTH van der Werve. Solomona in with a tackle down that right wing. And the heavy artillery come in. This is Johnny Gray. Price goes in to deliver ball back to Hastings. That little chip kick once again behind the defence, but it's well, it was well gathered, but spilt once again.
It's not called by a white player.
Langdon with the knock on. Hastings always aware of the space behind.
Yeah, he's very good at spotting that, isn't he? Langdon does incredibly well actually to turn and get back to the ball, but then just knocks the ball on. Here's the angle that he'll see. Hastings chip. Langdon reads it really well, takes the ball off him there, but then just loses it.
That's on the tackle.
There's a little scoop from Hastings, isn't there? They're all cheats, those Hastings. It's just bred into them, isn't it? It's in the DNA.
Just stay, don't push early. If it looks like you push early.
I'll let that one hanging there, Austin.
Yeah.
If you leave it, then the court just closes and we move on.
I need a good platform.
Well, there's the
Not
naughty
in
boy,
good stability.
John O'Ross, who is an ex-Stade Francais man. He also plays on the flank.
Yeah.
Made 123 tackles in the Premiership this season, second
Still
behind
moving at line. It's not pushed this way.
Blair Cowan. And as we saw in that graphic there, he's had a great run of games, hasn't he?
Well, he's been really central to everything's been
Don't
good about
engage.
Sale in recent years. Exceptionally durable. Played in virtually every game along with Ross Harrison. Those two have been the cornerstone of this pack.
Yeah, Harrison's had a great run of games as well, as you said, having been a player of the year here as a youngster. Price then feeds the scrum. Good drive by Glasgow. They've splintered that scrum because Sale are a man down.
Yeah, we mentioned Harrison. He gets turned in here and folds. Very good scrum from Glasgow. You just see the difference mentally. You know, you look on paper between these two sides, there's not much in it. But you see what it means when the side knows that they can still qualify, potentially, versus a side that's thinking, do you know what, we've got Exeter and Saracens in the Premiership next. It just takes the edge off you ever so slightly.
Yeah, run of 4 games. Exeter and Sarries' game is both away from home, and then they play the Tigers and Gloucester. So it's a tough little run of games there for Steve Diamond's team, who've played 8 games in the Premiership, won 4, 50% record. Feels as though he's really building something here, though. There's been a number of injuries, but when the Sale Sharks have their full complement of the team, well, it's some team on paper.
Yeah. I think the Dupree family as well will have a big part to play in that.
Well, Faf de Klerk, of course, who's out injured. Ambrose Pappy at scrum half, and you've got A.J. McGinty, unfortunately injured. Joining Sam James. Well, it's scrappy at the back there. Price cleans up. Curry comes in with the tackle. Price once again has a little snipe round the side as Gray lines up and carries ball over that 22-metre switch play down that blind side. Here's Hastings has a little goal. Was looking for the support of Price on the inside, and looks as though Hastings has spilt the ball in that contact. So the door opened, but Sale Sharks defence closed it.
There's no con. Wait.
Will Cliff off his left peg.
It's over.
The advantage is over, so ball's out. So he's found a good touch as the Sale Sharks scrum half.
Yeah, nice clearance. Good break from Hastings, wasn't it? He spots the gap on the inside, transition zone. That's a good matchup that you want to see. You get the opportunity to run at James Phillips. He's a big second row, big heavy second row. Gets on the outside, probably just turns the wrong way. You thought it might flick it out the back of the hand there from Hastings, and then loses it in the contact.
Well, Ben Curry got there to meet the tackle. This is his 16th game this season. He's had 6 turnovers, and well, I better not get into trouble from his father David, because I still find it hard to differentiate between Tom and Ben, but I'm sure you can tell the difference. Apparently it's the broken nose.
Well, I've got twins, and I can't tell them apart, so I'm not even going to try with these two.
So Exeter, who've topped the group, are 7 points to 0 ahead of La Rochelle. So let's just have a look at the pool table as it stands. So Exeter would then go on to top, and likely with that points might get a home quarter final. Glasgow on 16 points as it stands, but of course they can get up to 17 points if they score a bonus point victory here. Well, the missed timing from Sam Johnson is a knock-on, so Sale Sharks have got a chance of the attack ball from the Glasgow Warriors mistake. Ball taken on by Luke James in the midfield. Ben Curry this time. Solomona on that far side as Hugh Jones hangs on for Glasgow. Yard is across there as well. Potter 3 forwards then takes the ball on Langdon with that distinctive scrum cap. Here's Curtis, feeds one out the back here now. A real attacking opportunity through James Williams. Sale retaining possession. This is their first real passage of retaining the possession. As Cliff goes in, feeds one back to his inside centre, James Williams, who fires that kick down. It's fielded by DTH van der Merwe. And then Glenn Bryce fires one deep downfield. James Williams, another one of these debutants who played last week against La Rochelle. Hastings just decides to continue the kick tennis. And this time Williams opts for the high one. Yards chasing this one up the middle. But Bryce had it covered as Fraser Brown's back in the unfamiliar position as the first receiver. Hastings, that little left dink foot, covered though by Will Cliff on this occasion.
Yeah, that's an area of Hastings' game that he needs to improve. You see that quite a few times, especially going left. Gets trapped, he puts a ball on the floor. Doesn't always work and gives away possession.
Glasgow happy to move the ball through. This is Nakarawa. He was looking for the offload, wasn't he? Out to Carl Stain on the flank. Ball's loose at the back, but tremendous work on the deck.
Yeah, it's a really good turnover from Tom Curry. Picks his time.
What about the Curry brothers? Do you think they're going to get a nod and call up from for the England squad from Eddie Jones?
Well, I think what they should do is pick both of them and let them play a half each and just not tell anyone. It's perfect. You can have a 24-man squad, just keep it stum. It's ideal. Lads, get your hair cut exactly the same. You need your nose breaking.
On the 5.
Right, now we know. Now we know. There's Ben. Now he's got the fawn tape in his back. So let's keep an eye out for him.
Or you can just look at the number on his back. That might be slightly easier.
Yeah, but sometimes you can't see the number on the back. You have to do your homework in this game, Austin. You know that.
Thanks for telling me. It's only been 15 years.
You've only been exactly.
I'm a bit late.
You were telling me last year. You reckon last week you've done what, 800 games since you've retired?
I think round about that number. Yeah.
Well done. Well done. Back to the action then. Curtis Langdon. This is the first time that Sale Sharks have ventured into the Glasgow 22. That one is brought down.
Well, it's the first positive thing that's happened for Sale. Decent line out, decent setup. You've got to think that they're going to put it to the corner. I can't imagine they'll be overly bothered with 3 points. You can see Dimes there shouting corner.
Yeah, sensible call, and 1:13 left on the clock on the yellow card of John O'Ross. So Sale Sharks will want to set something up here.
Yeah, they would have looked for a slightly better kick from there. The 22, you're only 10 metres out now rather than 5. Makes a big difference. And in some ways, when you get the drive from 10 metres out, you can spin a few of the forwards out the way, out the back. No chance to go. The setup for a drive as well. 5-man line out. Surrey in the pocket.
A loud blast of the whistle there from Pascal Gonçalves. Xander Fagerson was involved in that one. He's actually committed 14 penalties. There he is. He's conceded the most amount of penalties in this Heineken Championship. Let's just listen in.
You're in charge of player. When I blow my whistle, when I give a clear gap, why your player push, why you don't create the space? It's not my job. I have a few words. It's not acceptable. Same a few words with your player. Yeah. I know.
It's not the gap they're arguing about, it's the numbers. They've got 1 man in the bin, so it's only a 5-man line out, and yet
it's not acceptable.
Glasgow still got 7 in the line.
It's not acceptable.
I don't think that's any need for a scuffle, really, is it? Just the inability of forwards to count. It should be a given.
Ball
thrown to the back then. As the drive is set up. Postlewaite's at the front, then James Phillips comes in to support. Then the back is Will Cliff. Then out into the back division. The backs have a dig at the Glasgow defence. So the first time that Glasgow have really been tested in their own 22 as Will Cliff goes digging. Ball taken on by Phillips. That's a good run. An advantage being played here now. Cliff back into Langdon. Langdon skips the tackle of Nakarawa. Williams. Yard takes the short angle. He's tackled by Sam Johnson. Now the angle run is with Ben Curry.
No!
He makes a decent ground, as does Langdon, who hit the great angle. And Glasgow's defence really been tested here as Sale Sharks start to go through the phases of play. Little show and go there from James Williams.
Step back, step back!
There's Danny Salamona. He's scored a bundle of tries. Gets the support of his prop forward Ross Harrison, and also Will Griff-Johns in there. So the front row in unison.
Step back.
Slightly slow ball. Well, the overhead pass is taken by Yard. Oh, Staines been stepped. Yard did really well. Looked as though there was a foot out in touch there, but touch judge is right there as Cliff goes digging once again. This is sustained pressure from the Sale Sharks, and the crowd are responding to them as well. Pulls at the back there, 5 metres as Langdon goes in. He plays scrum half. He has a little dink round the side. Over the top goes Harrison to protect the ball, and then Ben Curry gets hands on the ball. He's supported by Phillips.
It's a free shot now. They've just got to be a little bit more patient, Sale. They're a little bit rushed at each breakdown. If you are going to latch, get in front of the ball, not behind the ball.
Penalty was penalty.
No, that's
here,
illegal, but
away, or offside here.
Going to go to the corner again. I think that's probably the right decision. Strangely, slightly more difficult kick than it was in the previous penalty. Safety first there.
Well, John O'Rourke returns to the action there, so the full complement restored, and well, I'm sure the Sale Sharks captain will have words with his team.
There's that ball over the top. Look how well Marlon Yard does. He beats him on the outside, but then he still stays on the field. Does incredibly well not to go into touch there.
Marlon Yard, born in St Lucia, not quite as warm here down in Manchester, but still
you say that, but Salford's twinned with St Lucia.
Langdon, oh, it's a tremendous lead by Postlethwaite at the front, but it's spilt ball and Fraser Brown comes away with it. Tackling man was Will Griff-John. He just collapsed in onto Fraser Brown.
Oh wow, this is worth a look again.
Straight to the floor.
Is this really a penalty?
Okay.
Well, Will Griff-John's been done for tackling whilst on the floor. Here's the line out. That's from he's interfered in the air. Should be Sale ball. As he comes around, that you can't quite see there. What's wrong with that? He's on his feet and then he tackles him. Will Griff-John comes around the corner. He stood up and stops him on the floor. Otherwise, it's an involuntary tackle.
Carl Stein comes in to take the short pass, and then Johnston. Here comes Price. He's a little bit slow as Tom Curry goes over the top on that occasion.
Pull clean out or in on?
That's 9 penalties already.
I explained the last penalty.
10 penalties in this half. After 25 minutes, it's a lot.
Just look after. Yeah, don't look before.
Sale have committed on average 10 penalties a game, and Glasgow 9.8.
So we're halfway there then.
Ball ricochet, so problems in the line out for the Sale Sharks. Johnson to Jones, and here's Glenn Bryce. Bryce from fullback. A little bit scrappy for Glasgow as Xander Fagerson takes that ball into the contact. Price back to Johnson. This is Hastings. You drop back into a deeper position. Finds Yard. Yard with a counter-attacking opportunity now. Makes some reasonable ground, and Sharks come back down that blind side. This is Langdon on the flying tackle by Nakarawa. All taken on by the second row James Phillips. Will Griff goes in to dig once again, but this time another penalty in the favour of Glasgow.
Just can't get going the game, can it? There's 2 or 3 phases, turnover, penalty, knock on.
Strong tackler, poor clean out. Penalty.
A lot of the penalties are at the breakdown, aren't they? This isolated man.
The problem with the breakdown is that if the tackle player doesn't roll away, you can't get any purchase on your feet for the clear out. And that was a prime example of it. Gray puts in a very good tackle. Look where his body ends up on the far side. So Ross Harrison can't get his foot down to get a clear out. It's a penalty the other way. You can congratulate him, but it should have gone the opposite direction.
Nice switch play with Fraser Brown off the line out, wraps round that front, and then Sully, he's been involved in a lot of the ball carrying duties this afternoon already. As Nakarawa has a goal, gets the offload going this time. Price threw one on the inside. Van der Merwe tackled there by Carpenter. Double tackle comes in there from Ross and Langdon, but Glasgow still keeping the ball alive. Price goes back down that blind side. Gordon takes the ball to deck, and Glasgow working through the gears once again. They've got their runners coming up, and Fagerson's taken ball. One of the Glasgow players was tackled illegally.
He's been busy, hasn't he, Price, around the breakdown?
Yeah, he's been brought in and it rotated for George Horn, who scored a try last week. Here's another wee look.
What I like about him is that he doesn't just pass from the base, he picks and he moves. See him moving there, that means the 3 defenders in front of him can't come forward as quickly as they want to make the hits on the forward. Just these 1, 2, 3 steps. Look what it does to the first, second defender. John O'Ross there, he's still back in the pocket, he's in his own starting position. He hasn't got a 2-step forward because he can't leave the 9. It's really good from Price, and these small little things from your 9 can really slow down a defensive line speed against you.
Plenty of action coming up across BT Sports. Saracens versus Racing 92. Some talking points in the build-up to that game. That's tomorrow at 12:30, and then Munster take on Ospreys. Both of these teams still have an outside chance of qualification, as do Gloucester, who take on Toulouse, and tomorrow that's a 3 p.m. kickoff on BT Sport 2 HD. Montpellier versus Connacht, that's tomorrow at 3 p.m. on BT Sport 3 HD. So Heineken Champions Cup of Rugby, round 6. All the places still up for grabs. Glasgow 2 tries in the lead. This is Fraser Brown, 46 caps in a Scotland jersey. Finds Scott Cummings. Cummings has a drive. Brown will latch onto this one again. The driving maul's been collapsed illegally, says Pascal Gazelle.
They're under so much pressure from the quality of the Glasgow drive, aren't they?
Jumping across, and after you collapse them all.
And yet another penalty, and no doubt Glasgow, well, will they go for that corner once again?
It would make perfect sense. The throw's great, right on the money. Brown comes around the corner, gets his hands on the ball. It's a bit of a stumble, actually. Arguably harsh, but you take those chances. And now again, Glasgow get the chance to set up. And if they get tight, you wouldn't put money against them scoring.
Well, again, it's Scott Cummings in the second row who sets, and Brown latches on to that drive. It's DTH Van der Merwe is also there as well. Brown bumps off one Sale tackler, and comes Williams from the centre to deny Brown extra yards, and Price goes again, gets the offload to DTH Van der Merwe. Tremendous by Price, but the angle from DTH Van der Merwe sees the Canadian go in for his Glasgow's third try.
Yeah, the angle and the timing from Van der Merwe is exceptional. Too easy in this scenario. You can overrun a play, particularly when someone like Price makes this half break. This should not be scored, but look at Mandeverva in the backfield, times his run, jumps over the top and then accelerates through. That is a class finish from a class winger. Price so busy, isn't he? Great offload, gets his hands out the tackle. Ball in two hands, constantly moving the defenders with his hands and his eyes. Good scrum half play, great wing play. All stemmed from the strength of the pack. Glasgow really in control of this.
Well, they've certainly shown, Austin, with the 3 tries in the first half hour, and Adam Hastings kicking so well. 3 converted tries, 21 points to 0, 3/4 of the job already done. And you know, Glasgow looking very, very strong, very settled, very confident in their attack structure.
Yeah, they're mixing it up as well. As we said at the start, Sale got nothing to play for other than pride and maybe development of some of their young players. Glasgow, on the other hand, are full steam ahead. This is why they're so good to watch. I said it last week. I'd pay to go and watch them every week. There's just such a mixture to their play. I wouldn't pay every week, maybe you know, once a quarter.
Well, Conor McGregor returns to the octagon for the first time in 15 months tonight. He'll take on the welterweight Donald Cowboy Cerrone in Las Vegas from 1 AM. It's live only on BT Sport box office for £19.95. Viewers must be 18 or over. And for more information, for terms and conditions, go to the BT.com Sport box office. The event is available on BT Sport, TV, Sky and Virgin platforms, plus online and mobile.
How'd you get it again? Is his real name Cowboy?
It's
I'm changing
it
my
certainly
name.
is, but obviously Conor McGregor, UFC's number, you know, top billing fighter. But there's a fight on here, and Sale Sharks are trying to get back into this game.
Can you read out the terms and conditions again, please, for the McGregor fight?
I've actually got the terms and conditions. It's 4 pages long, but seriously, if you go to the BT.com website, you get it all there.
There's going to be a lot of people watching that, a lot of expectation. I'm looking forward to it later. I could have been a cage fighter.
Well, he was.
You just tried to put me in a cage with my teammates. It would have been a fight.
Well, you were telling me you used to room with Ben Kay. In fact, you're rooming with Ben Kay on a skiing holiday. That's going to be some cage in some room in some environment.
Yeah, I think you could probably grow fungi in there, or moss. He wants this side to get back in the game, doesn't he? He's playing for pride. I think that half-time could be a bit of an awakening for the Sale 15. I expect to see a different side come out, but they'll want to get something on the board before that.
So Curry to Curry. Williams takes it up the middle, and it's all a little bit sloppy there for Sale Sharks as they lose that attacking possession, and Price comes away spotted. And Solomona was flat there. Oh, DTH Van der Merwe went up the wing. The bounce of the ball evades the Canadian, but Sale now coming up to that halfway line. They've regathered the ball well.
Ball is here, it's on the side.
Curtis finds a bit of space out here. This is at Yard. Brandon gets the ball onto his captain, John O'Ross, who feeds once again, and then Will Cliff on that left peg. Hastings has this one covered. Once played for the Scotland under-20s here in the World Rugby Under-20s Championship, and Scotland won that game against the Australians.
Chance there for Sale to get the turnover, wasn't it? Bad decision that from Hastings to run out, gets away with it. Won't make the same again, will he? No, he will. He'll give it a go. He doesn't mind running.
He had a lot of time there, and the option was to relieve the pressure. Hugh Jones with the kick. It's well covered this time by this young full-back. That's Joe Carpenter, joined from Yorkshire Carnegie this season, just a few weeks ago actually. Slow ball at the back. Will Cliff has to play it, the 31-year-old. John O'Ross, tackled by Scott Cummings. It's slow ball once again for this Sale team. And that Glasgow defence has been Loctite so far this game.
been strong at the breakdown, haven't they? There's another example.
No.
Luke James tries to get through, but again, it's just piled up the breakdown. 2 men in. That's a penalty to Sale.
1-2 tackler in the wrong way, and you prevent the clean out. 1-2 tackler in the wrong way. 8 and 7. Pull away. Wait. Oh, I'm ref. Thank you.
There's a lot of penalties, isn't there, in this man?
A lot of penalty on the way for your team. But the 2 tackler are in the wrong way, and you prevent the clean out. Just make sure you change your discipline and your behavior in the breakdown and generally for the floor. I let you have a word with your team as a play. Thank you. Now, just have a few words with it.
See, Pascal, they're asking to have a word, but that's a byproduct of not refereeing it in the first 20 phases. If you referee it in the first 20 phases, the players pick it up straight away and they don't do it. If you don't referee it, the players know you're not doing it, and then they'll stay in there. And that's why we've seen so many penalties at the breakdown.
Yeah. 15 penalties so far in that opening 34 minutes, and it is high. When you consider that both teams average just approximately 10, lots of weight goes in, but Glasgow lazy in the ball. You can see Ryan Wilson there, just makes no effort.
He's got no argument to that at all, has he?
Wait.
He'd pull on the old Richie McCaw invisible cloak there, hadn't he? Thought he'd get away with it.
Well, Tom Gordon was also there, but Sale Sharks through John O'Ross now. Can the Sharks drive off this line out through Tom Curry? They need some momentum. Ben Curry goes in as well. But Glasgow just managed to stop the Maul from gathering any momentum.
Stay here!
Shot ball there into Ross. Cliff goes once again. Ball's in the middle, but it was a bit stilted once again, and Glasgow just lining up on the tackles on that far side. Well, maybe that sums up Sale Sharks' first half today. Lots of endeavour, but lots of mistakes. There's score from Sandy Park.
Wow.
Couple of converted tries. Dexter 14, La Rochelle 14.
I don't know if it's 8
Here's the qualification picture as it stands. So we've got Leinster, Clermont, Exeter, Racing and Toulouse already qualified alongside Ulster. And then you got Northampton, Glasgow squeaking in, but with Sarries and Gloucester could change things tomorrow. La Rochelle chasing a win there. They're 14-all against Exeter. They could get themselves up to 16 points, and Munster have an outside chance.
It's a big game that for the Chiefs, because they'll want to finish second if they possibly can. Get that home quarter-final. Really, you've got to think that the 5th place team's going to be Racing.
Yeah.
Unless they get a win away at Sarries, which isn't impossible.
Yeah. But for our viewers watching this particular game, of course, Sale are out, but Glasgow really do need this bonus point. They need a further try. They've started so well. 3 converted tries. They're almost there. But Dave Rennie's half-time chat will be slightly different to that of Steve Diamond's.
Yeah, somewhat. Slightly contrasting. But I just think the way Sale have played has shown that they're just not that used to playing it with each other. It's a new team. They're playing very much one-dimensional rugby. One-off carries, trying to get latched on, and that's meat and drink to a good defence like Glasgow.
Yeah, there's almost a hesitancy within their play.
Yeah, I think Curtis, he's a young 10, but what he's got to do is he's got to step forward. He's got to get in there at first receiver and start to move the angles a little bit more and give his forwards a little bit more space on the carry.
Yeah, here's Tom Curtis, an England under-18, being called into their England under-20 squad. Ex-Macclesfield. Seb played his school rugby at Sebra, of course, that hotbed up north. It's a difficult position, though, Austin. You know, I know you flitted a little bit at 10 once upon a time, but as a youngster to come in and play that pivotal position, you bags of confidence. You know, it's a difficult learning curve for him.
Yeah, an understanding of your team. You know, I flitted at it a couple of games there for the Lions. a couple of games for England at 10. So yeah, I gave it a bit of an experiment, and yeah, it's not an easy position to play.
Good scrum, stay like this, stay like this.
Of course, you had bags of confidence. Now the scrum in Sale's favour. Look what it means to them. They've got something positive out of the game.
Blue set, black.
Choice here. I'd probably be tempted to take the 3. You've gone to the corner 5 times. Glasgow pushed you back. Maybe just change the focus a bit. Put 3 points on the board and see what happens in the second half.
Going down.
Nope, they're going to the corner.
So Tom Curtis will go to the corner. Play with the local club Stockport RFC, just up the road. So likely to be the last play of this first half, this Pro 2 game in the Heineken Champions Cup. So Langdon gets the throw right and the drive comes on. Penalty coming as Nakarawa gets his body into the wrong position.
He keeps changing his bind, that's why.
Cliff has to have a wee dig there. Well, this is Nakarawa who'll end up in the bin.
Over the mall, I'll give a warning. No, good jump there. Jump over the mall. At the top of the mall, penalty.
This might give them more of a chance because he's been really central, obviously, getting those arms through in the previous ones. Removal of a good 20 stones there. The driving sense might help Sale.
Sale then go to John O'Ross, the captain, at the front, and Glasgow come in to really sprawl, but the Sharks have still got numbers there. Glasgow working hard. Look at Johnny Gray in there, and then the momentum and drive coming through, but tremendous play by Postlethwaite to keep the ball, and he's had a great first 40 minutes for the Sale Sharks as the Sharks go once again, knowing this is their last opportunity of the first half. Ross once again with the hard yards. Spinning is Phillips. And Glasgow turn the ball over.
From the side.
Sayuli does really well on the floor here. Often the unseen work in these close quarters that matters so much. Watch what he does on the floor. He just spins Phillips. As he hits now, he comes round the corner and he just gets spun onto his back there. He gets turtled onto his back. That opens the ball up. They get the turnover and they go in 21-0 up.
So Glasgow on their way to still keep in touch with qualification. It's half-time here. 3 converted tries. Glasgow 21, Sale 0. Well, we've had an entertaining start to this game. 3 converted tries by Glasgow. Sees them in at half-time by 21 points to 0. Of course, Glasgow do need that bonus point for the 4th try to stay in touch and put themselves in a position of qualification in this Heineken Champions Cup. The games tomorrow will determine whether Glasgow stay in that position, because Saracens and Gloucester still have an opportunity of qualification, but all that Glasgow have to do is win this game and score another try. So let's have a look at the action. Just looking out onto the pitch, no changes from either team that I can see. And Sale, well, it'll have been interesting what Steve Diamond said to the Sale Sharks team, being 3 converted tries down, and what kind of response, Austin Healy, do you think Sale will have in this second half?
Well, they'll need some kind of response, and you've seen it straight away. They're trying to play away from that first 3-4 defenders, try and get outside Curtis, open the pitch up. Got to be a little bit more direct though first.
Sorry, 6, eh?
Glasgow with 70 tackles made. Sale was 72, so even Stevens almost there. As Price comes back down this blind side. Offload was from Bryce.
Thought Bryce was excellent last week. Real glimpses of what he can do. Seen a little bit less of it this evening.
Hastings too big in the tackle. He's kind of isolated there as Suili goes in, and so does Brown, but the ball's back into Price's hands. And from Price goes to Bryce. Glenn Bryce, who his father Jockey was a prop forward, so he did have another son who was capped for Scotland, Kevin. He was a forward, but Jockey was also a forward. His father, that's Glenn Bryce's father.
Red form now!
Glasgow conceding a little bit of ground here as Hastings just stands up and challenges Luke James, and he steps out the tackle. Yard has to come in to make the tackle. The offload is good to Carl Stein. Good break by Hastings down that far flank as Scott Cummings hits one of his famous angles. Hastings shows the flat one to Suili. Tackle came in from the number 8, John O'Ross. Sam Johnson out the back door to Hugh Jones. Hugh Jones tackled there by Danny Solomona. But Warriors once again, this is the offload from Wilson, but it's Price that knocks on.
The break from Hastings was just brilliant, wasn't it? He's so deceptively strong in the tackle. Here, there's nowhere to go. He's 2-on-2, little step to the outside, stays upright, another fend, goes out of another tackle, and then still gets the offload to the outside. You know, you just look at his body angles. This is a really good lesson for any kid watching. Don't dip into a tackle until you're actually on the floor. Keep your legs pumping, keep working. Never accept a tackle, because it's not complete until your knees hit the ground. Just so deceptively strong.
I'm sure he must get it from his uncle, not his father.
Skips a generation, apparently.
Yeah, man of the match against Russia in the Rugby World Cup, and certainly enjoying his game time for the Glasgow Warriors. Scored 41 points coming into this game as Fraser Brown gets some attention.
Do you think they could play 10 and 12, him and Finn Russell, or is there just too much creativity with those two guys?
It has been done before, actually, Austin, and you know, Gregor Townsend will be wary of that. And you know, it's the way that Finn Russell, you know, the mercurial Finn Russell, and what he brings, but also what his midfield link is as well. And you know, you've got Hugh Jones out there coming back into good form. Sam Johnson, of course, that could be the midfield combination.
Close to feet, close to feet.
So there's Hugh Jones. Chance in the Six Nations this year, Scotland.
It'll be a tough start for Scotland across again, you know, Ireland and then England at Murrayfield, but of course as holders of the Calcutta Cup, there's always a bit of spice in that fixture, and it's all about momentum as well. You know, if Scotland didn't win in Dublin, then they can go to Murrayfield with confidence. If they lose, they're up against a very strong England team, but you know, there'll be a lot of teams going through a new growth cycle, as it were.
Oh, hold on a sec. Well, that's been reversed. He's got to be careful there. Will Griff John, if he's thrown that elbow and he's connected with it, he's gone.
Well, Will Griff John, he's just been called into Wayne Pivac's Welsh squad. Let's have another look at this one.
Oh no, that's fine. From the other angle, it looked like he'd thrown his elbow through, but there's nothing in that.
Well, Aki Suili.
He's actually just trying to get free of the shirt.
But there's been an edge to this game, hasn't there, throughout? There's been a simmering tension, and I think that's come from the sort of lack of clarity in around the breakdown.
Yeah, the scoreboard normally does that as well. When you're 21-0 down, you can't get your own game going. It's usually frustrating. That's why I think we should just bring back fighting.
Well, we can watch it tonight, actually, with the UFC.
How do you watch it tonight?
1 o'clock. Well, we'll make that promo later on, because Colin McGregor is making his comeback fight. So Glasgow, as a reminder, they still need that bonus point.
Leave it now. Leave it now.
They've got the drive in the Sale Sharks 22s. Price.
Keep your bind, keep your bind.
Looks as though he's going to take the ball there, but the forwards have other ideas. This is another good drive. Brown, though, he's bundled out of touch.
Good defence in the end, isn't it? And Postlethwaite gets his weight all the way through onto Brown, wraps his both arms round the ball, and then a little judo throw at the end.
He's been good today, hasn't he, Matt Postlethwaite? He's had a good run of games. Of course, Josh Bowman had a serious injury earlier on this season that's given Postlethwaite his opportunity, and he's taken it.
Yeah, De Jager as well arrived at Sale, I believe, this week. First time he's experienced the Manchester weather. Loved it, apparently.
Ball's over the top. It's taken in the back by Glasgow Warriors. There's the try line in front. They're after that bonus point as Gray goes round the edge. Oh, Postlethwaite right over the top of that ball. Played that one illegally. Glasgow on the charge once again. Price.
You lost now.
Hastings is directly behind this small mini ruck in there. Well, there was a hand in there. Ball comes back. Hastings stays big once again. He's bundled to the ground by James, and Brown once again gets involved in the hard yards.
Wait.
Another look at Tom Gordon, New Zealand born Scotland under 20 player. Price looks to shape once again with that dummy, and the offload to Seoli.
Push back.
Here's Scott Cummings. Carries hard into the contact. Sale's defence being tested once again.
You first tackler, rule away. This man. Not you. You stay tackler.
You can't think there's any point going for goal.
Wait.
Going to put it in the corner.
You're in a good position.
Scrum's been going relatively well for them.
Here's Hastings, tap and go. Price with the short pass to Johnson. There's the bonus point for Glasgow. 4 tries in the bag. They still have to go on and win the game, but they've done what they had to do.
Well, Price has been exceptional in this game. The timing of his pass is just brilliant. Tap and go from Hastings. I think that's the right decision. Look, pump the ball once, twice, 3 times. No one can leave him, and just creates so much space for Johnson. Brilliant play from Price. Love to see this. Moving defenders with the ball. They've got the bonus point, and as it stands, that means that Munster are out.
Yeah, and Johnson scores his first European try for the Glasgow Warriors. Well, I must say the talking point throughout this game not only has been Sam Johnson, but as you said, Austin, it's been Ali Price, and with George Horn having had the 9 position for Glasgow over the last few weeks and playing really well, the response from Price has been remarkable. Hastings 4 from 4, and it means that Glasgow Warriors are in the lead by 28 points to 0.
They decide to take Price off the back of it and bring Horn on. That must be hugely frustrating. 48 minutes.
So comes Rob Webber. Lots of experience for Rob Webber. Over 207 Premier games. This is 56 European game. Cooper Woolley is also off. Sorry, Jake Cooper Woolley is on, I should say. Will Griff John is off.
Well, they've left Price on, brought Horn on.
Well, Glasgow attacking from deep. This is Van der Merwe. Oh, he's strong, isn't he, the Canadian winger? Van der Merwe, well, there was an opportunity to throw the pass to Peter Horn, who's off the bench. Price is still on the pitch to Hastings. The game's now really opening up as Hastings cuts that angle once again. Price back down the blind side with the little dink kick. It's covered by Joe Carpenter. Now Carpenter, he decides to have a chance. In fact, it's actually Luke James who was in the fullback position.
Tackler rule away. You stay. You stay and you prevent a good clean out. Let's go.
So look, Leonie Nakarawa, great break here by DTH Van der Merwe.
Yeah, he's strong, isn't he? There's a chance here just to throw the shoulder ball to the outside. It's a great wing play, that. Step back in against your opposite number, bounce him out, accelerate. Now just pop the ball on your left shoulder, and Horn's away. Now he's kept the ball in play as well. It's all going well for Glasgow.
He obviously plays volleyball as well. The way he got that ball back in is Bryce to Hastings, and well, the opportunity was there, but he's been sacked. There's young Hastings, the ball's back.
Now release! Now, don't play the ball.
So confirmation that Leone Nakarawa is about to come on. Glasgow then through Wilson decides to just pivot and return the ball back to Price. Price goes back down that blind side. The juggle is Gordon. This is Carl Steyn. Steyn, he's played seven-a-side rugby for Scotland. He's just been called into Gregor Townsend's Six Nations squad. It was announced earlier on this week. And I remember that squad is Hastings, who doesn't find touch, does he? He does.
Options out wide, haven't they, Scotland? Really starting to get some depth now in that back line. Rowe is back on.
Stop.
So Cameron Neal comes on for Ben Curry. And Curry will be hoping for a call-up to the Six Nations squad of Eddie Jones's team that will be announced on Monday. He only missed one game this season when Steve Diamond let him go off to the Rugby World Cup to watch his brother. Ball taken on here by James Phillips. Oh, the ball's at the back there, and it's pinched. Nakarawa get the offload and the fancy stuff coming in from Gordon. And there's that Horn, who's well tackled there by Williams.
No, nothing.
Price directing traffic once again when the ball slowed up. He asks his forwards to take the ball on.
Wait here. Uruguay, no. Uruguay.
Well, the two second rows in unison there. Matt Postlewaite last off the ground alongside James Phillips.
You know nothing.
Good turnover from Price, wasn't it? And then a little bit of basketball through the legs.
It's in their DNA, though, isn't it, to continually move the ball, switch the target, and I think Dave Rennie's given this Glasgow Warriors team the confidence. It's been a bit stop-start for Glasgow this season.
Well, it's the way that they beat bigger sides, isn't it? If you move the point of contact, you don't allow big pile-ups, big collisions, super fast mini rucks, and offload the ball before contact. Makes you very hard to play against and great to watch.
Here's Rob Harley. He played his 50th European game against Exeter last week. He is on for Ryan Wilson. Bags of experience in young Rob. I was going to say young Rob Harley. He was a youngster once upon a time. 227 games for the Warriors. Switch play from Horn. Back down this blind side comes Bryce, who sprints and burls and almost skips the tackle of Solomona. That's Harley up the middle again. Glasgow making good inroads into this Sale Sharks defence as Fraser Brown has a bump and a burl in under the midfield, but a mistake there will hand possession over to the Sale Sharks.
22, Captain.
Curry putting his body on the line there. It's a big clear out on him. Gets himself in a really good jackling position, but then he's hit by a lot of traffic. Watch the technique of this, over the top, nice and low on the ball. He's hit by a lot of people there from a long way out.
Well, lots of action coming up. Conor McGregor returns to the octagon for the first time in 15 months tonight. He'll take on the welterweight Donald Cowboy Cerrone in Las Vegas from 1 a.m. It's live only on BT Sport box office for £19.95. Viewers must be 18 or over. And for more information, for terms and conditions, go to bt.com/sport box office. And this event is available on BT TV, Sky and Virgin platforms, plus online and mobile. Paul McGregor versus the Cowboy.
Fine. Set.
How'd you get it again? Basically, if you want to watch it, you can find it and pay for it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll be watching.
6.
Well, the Milky Bar Kid is alongside me, Austin Healy.
Not surprised next time.
So what about Glasgow then? They've done their job, but they can't take their eye off because they have to keep the intensity within this game.
Yeah, it's got very difficult to see Sale. We've seen some amazing comebacks already this season, but see Sale coming back into this, you'd expect Glasgow to take the full points.
Set.
Still think it's going to come down to that Sarries game.
Use now.
Can't see Gloucester beating Toulouse away, can you?
It's a tough ask, isn't it? And Saracens, well, it's the big talking point, isn't it? There looks as though they're going to be throwing out that Premiership, but the players will still want to do some talking. And enterprise here from Sale Sharks as we go back into the action, and wearing that number 22 jersey as Cameron Redpath returns from a hamstring injury after a month out. Rob Webber.
No interference, Rayon.
And then another one of the youngsters, Tom Curtis, takes ball on in the fly half position. This is good play. Solomona gets the chip going. He's got wheels as Solomona. Oh, he picks the ball up, but he's tripped. Van der Merwe's back there as well. A real spark in energy here as Curtis finds the long pass. There's men over there. This is Redpath. He's slipped the ball on. Carpenter. Sale Sharks going for the line. It's what they deserve. Offside is coming, so an advantage being played here. Inches to the line. Ball's right there. Was it dropped as a went over? No, it is a try. Tremendous play from the Sale Sharks.
Lovely play on the wide channel by Solomona. He gathers his own kick, and then they almost make a bit of a hash of it. They should have walked in under the post and they recycled. But this time they look after possession, and Cooper Woolley goes over for the try. Here's that break. Timing of the pass to the outside. Van der Merwe just steps in ever so slightly. Regathers. As you think this bounces into Denny Solomona's hands, but he just snipers himself. He goes down. They recycle. Look at all the space under the posts. And it's just a reach in the end. Yeah, that's a try.
And Jake Cooper Woolley off the bench, and it's literally his first touch of the ball. And it's given the crowd and the home fans something to cheer for. Well, Tom Curtis adds the extra 2 points from the try scored by the replacement Jake Cooper Woolley.
You just see again there the importance of the shoulder height. That dictates who wins the collision. Your shoulders are lower than the tackler, you often make the extra half yard, and that's the difference between scoring and not. Cooper Woolley's body angle on that occasion very good.
Let me know who is the captain in Glasgow now.
Well, Fraser Brown has done his stint, and he's replaced by George Turner, and then on comes the little pocket battleship, and that is George Horn. He replaces that man there, Ali Price, who's played very well for Glasgow. He's dictated the pace.
They've just taken off their two best players this evening. Brown and Price have been, well, controlled proceedings from a forwards point of view, and then a backs.
There's Cameron Redpath, back to the action, born in Narbonne, could qualify for France, but he's opted to ply his trade for England. Warriors with a good line-out take. This is Stain. First look at George Horn to Nakarawa with that wonderful offload, and Ross has made the tackle on Harley. Hastings with that loopy pass, and Van der Merwe, well, he was under pressure, wasn't he, from Solomona on the hospital pass.
Thanks, mate. Great pass.
Eric, have a look about the 16 on the 20.
Ball's carried by Tom Gordon. Made his debut against the Ospreys in January 2019.
Back!
Horn just calls in his numbers to Nakarawa. Here's Horn, this is what he's famed for. The tap and go, the offload is good to Turner. Turner knocks the ball on, it's mopped up by John O'Ross. And John O'Ross charges up towards the 22. He's tackled by George Horn, and then Postlethwaite gets involved in the action.
Off it now, off it now!
Redpath comes back down on this blind side. Van der Merwe tries to rip ball there from that Sale Sharks attack.
It's good.
Cliff once again, he's just asking for his guards to come in. Ross Harrison comes in.
In.
So does Cooper Woolley, the try scorer for Sale. Box kick taken by Van der Merwe. 51 caps. He has played in 3 Rugby World Cups for Japan. Cummings. There's Hastings looking for that chip kick ahead. Horns on it.
For me, it's no call. Live is no call by the black player.
Oh, I think a bit hard done by Glasgow there. I think maybe that was tapped back by a Sale player. He's so dangerous, isn't he? Kicking for himself, comes through. We'll see a better angle here. No, it is his hand.
White.
Yeah, good decision in the end. Left hand comes through, just takes it first.
8 and 9 white. Eric, do you want to review the action or?
No, it's a rugby collision.
It's a rugby collision?
For me, yes.
We check with the
so a triple substitution coming in for Sale Sharks. As Sam Dugtail comes on.
Number 8, 9.
Cameron Neal is already on the pitch. Gus Ward comes on. And wearing that number 23, a 19-year-old Tom Roebuck. So the youth policy is working its magic here. There's the youngster Tom Roebuck, made his debut against La Rochelle last week. Born in Inverness. And he was just 19 on the 7th of January, so there he is, big tall fella, isn't he? Just selected in Alan Dickens' England under-20 squad as the captain. John O'Ross goes off the pitch, chatting away there to the Aki Siuli, who's been replaced. And here's Nicola Matawalu, who's coming onto that left wing. Van der Merwe is off.
Stay up. 16.
Confirmation there that Ollie Kebble, there he is, wearing that number 17 jersey. He's on for Aki Siuli. So Kebble made his Glasgow Warriors debut against Connaught in 2017, was a member of the World Rugby under-20 squad in 2012 for South Africa, beat New Zealand in the final. Good nudge by Glasgow, putting Sale under pressure.
Moi de mon côté, pilier de gauche sur le number. Pris complètement en bas.
And a real relish from this Glasgow team as some of the power weights and the experienced heads come off the bench.
Yeah, it was a great scrum, wasn't it? They've been in complete control of this game for 60 minutes so far. I think this probably is the right decision, actually. You've got the bonus point. Just take the 3, calm proceedings down. It's been a little bit touchy all the way through. Now they've just got to sit and wait. They will look back on that La Rochelle game at home if they don't go through and think, what if? Because they really are a quality attacking side.
So Adam Hastings with that 100% record this afternoon here at the AG Bell Stadium. 4 conversions to his name. Can he add the penalty from 40 metres? It's pretty accurate, it's pretty straight, and as the flags will see, it's over the bar.
Yeah, can Hastings add the penalty from 75 metres, says the uncle? Yes, he can. His goal kicking's been spot on. His distribution excellent. His moving of defences with different options. So difficult to play against. Anyone would have thought that he comes from a rugby family.
No, on, play on. Play on. Play on. Stay.
Tom Gordon, he plays that pivot role well, doesn't he? He opted just to
16.
take the ball into that Sale Sharks defences. Adam Hastings decides to release some territory downfield, and Curtis had it covered and picks it up on the ricochet. Luke James up to the 10-metre line he goes. Now the replacement scrum half to Redpath. And the penalty goes.
You wall and you prevent the contest. If you release the ball immediately, turn over. All in on.
Well, it's fair to say it's been just a little bit too disjointed from a Sale perspective this afternoon.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of it. Each breakdown's different, and that's what the players struggle with. I do agree with that decision. I think Molyneux goes off his feet and seals, prevents the competition, but every breakdown has had a different interpretation of it, and that's why you're seeing so many penalties.
Tell me if you want it.
You know, we're on 25 penalties so far with 17 minutes to go. It's a hell of a lot.
Send it.
There's Rob Harley. 21 caps for Scotland. Well, Scott Cummings decides to leave the ball behind, but it's mopped up by Peter Horn. And his brother George Horn, the younger brother, goes in to delve. This is George Turner. Johnny Gray. Well, there's a little step here from Horn as he sizes up, and Bryce then feeds Nakarau. Sorry, he feeds Matawalu. Matawalu. Strong, isn't he? Well, he's on his knees. Was he held at the tackle? He's just been held up short of the line. You're allowed to use your feet. Use the ball back to Horn. Horn has a little dink around the side.
Penalty.
Xander Fagerson, he'll fancy his chances down that left, but he throws the ball to the pod of players who drive over the line. And it's another try that comes in from Johnny Gray. Sheer delight for the second row.
It's a great try in the end from Glasgow, but it did look like Matawalu was crawling along the floor in the tackle 2 phases before. He makes the extra 5 metres. They hold him up, and then they manage to roll themselves out of the in-goal area, which is really clever from Glasgow. Here's the carry. Is he tackled? Is he down? And he hits the deck now. Yeah, he's crawling along the floor. He can't do that. That should have been a penalty to Sale, but they work the ball back. And they go through 2 more phases, and there's the carry and the reach from Gray. They've been strong in the contact, the Glasgow forwards.
Five tries for Glasgow. 4 conversions and a penalty for this young man. Can he slot the 5th conversion? So Adam Hastings keeps his 100% record, and he keeps that Glasgow scoreboard ticking over. It's Glasgow 38, Sale Sharks 7. They've got the bonus point. They're continuing to apply pressure on the Sale Sharks team as Chris Fasaro is on to the field. And also off the bench is Adam Nicol, who replaces Xander Fagerson. Penalty for the Sale Sharks. There's our Adam Nicol. He played a couple of weeks ago. Started against Benetton Treviso.
That's a better kick to the corner from Curtis. There's the turnover. Get the hand on the ball over the top.
Not on the top, eh?
Did well, Sam Dugdale, didn't he? Got his purchase there. Rob Webber with the throw. It's overshot to Turner. Well, young Tom Curtis got a knock on the head there.
Oh, please. First, the player. Please, I am in control. First, player.
Head-to-head collision.
Just a clash of heads, unfortunately, but
There's his poor technique from Curtis. Yeah. Once he sees him carrying like that, he needs to set himself low or ride to the outside. Let's hope he's okay, but it is a rugby collision.
Well, there'll be no HIA. It's just that purely he'll be taken from the field of play. But as we can see, the medics are looking after the young fella. It is his first European start, and he's had a couple of games last week against La Rochelle as Steve Diamond looks on, but he's also played in the Premier Cup as well. So on comes the stretcher just to make sure that he's all right.
It's a really difficult tackle actually for a 10 in that scenario. Just the way that everything stacks up, the angles, the body angle of the ball carrier, where the ball is. You know how the laws are changing and the interpretation of them, so you can no longer ride the shoulders and take him to ground for the risk of being sent off yourself. So it's really difficult.
I think I have a right hand and body straight.
So latest score from this pool. This is Exeter rally from 14-all against La Rochelle. They're now leading that particular fixture by 33 points to 14. And if they hold on, they'll get a home quarter-final. Such an advantage. So the winners of Pool 2, as we can see, confirmation that Exeter, with 5 wins and 6 to come, that will be 27 points. So that's as it stands. Great to see that Tom Curtis is up and walking off the pitch. That's good news that young Curtis is walking off the pitch. So it'll be a permanent change. So we're going to have a look at the as it stands across the qualification. In fact, well, let's have a look at the action coming up tomorrow. This has a bearing on whether Glasgow can qualify for the quarter-final. Saracens will take on Racing 92. That's tomorrow at 12:30 on BT Sport 2 HD. And then Munster will take on the Ospreys. Munster are out. They cannot qualify. Ospreys can't qualify either, but that game's on tomorrow at 12:30. And then Toulouse, Gloucester. Gloucester beat Toulouse. It may nudge Glasgow. And then Montpellier against Connaught tomorrow at 3 o'clock. BT Sport 3 HD.
Everyone in Glasgow speaking French tomorrow, supporting Toulouse and Racing. 2 wins there, and I think that puts them through.
Well, there's Steve Diamond there. You know, he's taken a brave decision. He's got a couple of youngsters, Tom Curtis, obviously, Joe Carpenter, aged 18. He's got the 4 20-year-olds, and he's got Tom Roebuck. So it's a real investment in youth from this young Sale Shark side. 22. As Glenn Bryce decides to have an attack down that 15-yard line. Nakara was involved, but Matawalu goes into play scrum half. The 2 Fijians in unison. Hastings with that little dink kick. It was covered there by Gus Ward.
Nothing.
But referee goes there, says there was no high contact made when galling the ball, as Ward goes in to dig ball out. Ball taken on there by Cameron Neild.
Please.
This is Marlon Yard. Just tackle behind that gain line there by Rob Harley.
21 is onside.
Glasgow's defensive line, you can just see it coming up to try and squeeze that space on that Sale Sharks attack line. So the ball back to Yard here. So James gets caught on that 10-yard line. So despite the 7th phase of possession here, Glasgow are pinning the Sale Sharks in their own half. Postlethwaite
Not hand.
carries the ball well. In its scrum half goes Roebuck. And then the high kick comes up across the far side. Glasgow will have this one covered through Hastings. Just stands big to give himself some time.
Back, step back.
This is Nickel, I should say, to Johnny Gray, the try scorer. Horn has a little snipe back down that blind side, inside pass from Hugh Jones to Hastings. Hastings finds more space from
19.
Turner to Nakarawa.
Right.
He'll fancy the offload to his Fijian colleague Matawalu. Curry with the tackle there. Harley to Hastings. George Horn. It's all a little bit loose and tackle.
Not hand. Move on one. Step back. It's good.
Kebble. Now with the game won, Austin, it's Glasgow continued to try and probe. And this is great. Gets the support of Turner. And there's Horn, latches on, and George Horn. Oh, he's been well tackled there. Super tackle there comes in from Joe Carpenter at fullback. And Gray, what a shift he's put in. Overhead pass to Cummins. There's men over here as Hugh Jones steps in, goes over. Glasgow are 6 tries to the good. And it's Hugh Jones with the Super 6.
You won't see many better tries than that this weekend. Just a mix of play, good carry through the middle, decision to step and go through the pack. Oh, they've got to come back, he's not the last man. They've kicked it. No. They knew what they were doing. Gray can't pick up the ball from the ruck if he's not the back man, he's in front of the ball.
When the ball is picked up.
Yeah, they're going to come back. It's a penalty to Sale. It's a shame because it was a great try in the end.
Checking the one-man ruck in the midfield. So this
Look
is
at the feet of Gray, he's in front of the ball, he reaches back to get it, he can't do
in front
that.
of the ball.
Okay, I disallow the try.
Yes.
And the penalty, where is the mark in the penalty?
Penalty is 40 meters from the post. And
He's a
on
crafty
the 15
second
from
row,
the
isn't he?
line,
But he was caught
from
out.
the touchline. 40 meters from the Glasgow post.
Eric Gozan,
15
who's our TMO, he alerts Pascal Gauzer, who will disallow the try.
Yeah, what I really liked about that break was the change of angle from Turner. Gray pops off the ball to him, and as he catches it, he just changes his angle to beat the first tackle.
Captain? No, wait. Captain. I disallow the try because the player is in front, he played the ball in a one-man ruck. It's penalty. No, wait.
Just look at the change of angle of Turner here. As he takes the ball, just takes back into the inside, makes that half break, and that opens up the space. He's not tangled up. Carpenter does well. I know this doesn't count for anything, but there's some lovely pieces of rugby, including this offload, and then the Matawala pass to the outside under pressure. Unfortunately, it's the playbook that leads to nothing.
The one-man ruck, and you cut in the ruck, and you catch the ball. You're offside, you cannot play the ball.
Well, both these teams opened the action away back in November in round 1. Glasgow won that one by 13 points to 7. They couldn't shake the coattails of the Sale Sharks team. They have on this occasion, though, 5 tries. And the score is Sale 7, Glasgow 38. Tom Curry goes in, delivers at scrum half, ball taken on by Nell. So here's the next attack from this Sale team. Nice little offload there, wasn't it, from Rob Webber. Comes in with a very experienced is Gus Ward at scrum half now. The interception by Adam Hastings. Puts the little kick in. This is Hugh Jones and Matawalu on the chase in the corner. Football from Matawalu, yards there. I think Yard managed to beat Matawalu into the corner.
Okay. 22.
Everyone loves a foot race, don't they? Hastings with a brilliant intercept. Who gets down first? Oh, it's worth another look.
First grounding is a wide player. Time off. 22 restart.
It's actually a knock-on in goal.
Yes.
Pascal, knock on in goal.
What about the skill at Matawalu at full pace? Just drags the foot and then almost gets his hand down first.
Pour moi, c'est le noir qui touche le ballon.
Okay.
Pour moi, c'est le noir.
Well, that young man, Nicolo Matawalu, he was once the
Scrum 5 for one.
Hong Kong Sevens player of the tournament in 2012, and his Fijian colleague, Leone Nakarawa, he's made some real impact. Let's just listen to the referee here.
Forward. Restart, scrum, wide ball.
Well, Austin, you absolutely spotted that one. The knock-on in goal means that Sale Sharks won't have a 22 dropout. It'll be a 5-yard scrum, and no doubt Glasgow will pile on the pressure as well.
You don't need to sound surprised, mate. I know we've only done a few games together, but you'll get used to these. This insight, this level of it, the quality of it.
Because he's knocked by the winger, Brack, it's scrum 5.
I'm glad he can read my writing. I've written down 5-yard scrum.
15.
So that said, Joe Carpenter injured in that end, but it was a super tackle he had.
Yeah, here. Scrum 5.
So Ben Carlisle, signing from Yorkshire Carnegie. There he is, young Ben Carlisle. Went to Bucklington School and then played for Hull Ionians. Now he's come onto the flank, so this is, I'm just looking at seeing Ben Curry's gone back into the back division.
I think when you watch a game like this and you see that Sale have obviously had nothing to play for other than a bit of pride and to blood some youngsters. It's really difficult to get the crowd behind it and the energy unless you're winning.
Austin, we've been well entertained then. We might as well just have a look at the Heineken Champions Cup man of the match.
Well, there's been some brilliant performances, hasn't there, from the Warriors. That man there, Brown, has been excellent. I think Nakarawa, again, what a fantastic conclusion to have him. Hastings, amazing at times. But the guy that held it all together when he was on was Ali Price. I think his ability around the breakdown really gave them an energy, really gave them a speed of ball. And he's our Heineken man of the match.
No call.
Scott Cummings with a little flip. Horn knows where the space is. Here's Matawalu. Loves the little show and go, doesn't he, as he offloads onto Ollie Kebbell. Horn. You notice he had a wee look down the blind side there. This is Nicol to Hastings. George Horn, overhead pass. There's to Carl Stain, and Stain cuts back in. Fusaro takes one on the nose, but gets to support his winger.
No.
Oh, Turner just absolutely hit a sublime angle. Oh, what a try. George Turner, you talked about his angle of running previously, but on that occasion, the replacement hooker ran a sublime angle.
That is brilliant rugby from Turner. Off the left foot again. The initial angle that he picks takes him through the gap, but then he's got no right to score. And yet he has the skill and wherewithal. Look at the pick here. Goes back against the grain, inside the guard and the bodyguard. Step again off the left foot. It's a slight slip there from James, but he goes over. That is a brilliant try from a front row. That's something that you remember the day you die. You're a granddad, you're telling the kids, hey kids, I scored this try once in Salford from 75 metres. Brilliant try. There's the man of the match, Ali Price. Oh, he enjoyed it as well.
Oh, delight from the Glasgow bench. This man, Turner, once scored a hat-trick against Canada in the colours of Scotland. So he's done it on a number of occasions.
20 seconds.
There's the bagpipes. Some noise you can't get out your ears, isn't it?
6 tries for Glasgow, 6 converted tries, 6 conversions from Adam Hastings, and a penalty. And it's been quite comprehensive, hasn't it? Sale 7, Glasgow 45.
Yeah, it really has. He's our man of the match, but I think European rugby's got to look at these last 2 rounds. You get a couple of teams that haven't always got something to play for, and maybe if you can find a point scheme, a way of incentivising them to push on in the later rounds that can carry on to next year's competition, I think that could be something that could be looked at.
And also remember that previous occasions they could be playing for a Challenge Cup position, so that's also an option as well.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe a bit harsh on some of the teams that have tried their best in the Challenge Cup and have got to the knockout stage, and then one of the big clubs from the Heineken comes through. I think it's tough, but I think there is something they can look at that says, you know what, maybe if you play well in the last round, you can add points to your own league score for qualification, or some kind of seeding for the following season. I don't know, it's a Saturday night, it's late. I'll give it some serious thought later.
And are you going to go out and celebrate with these guys?
Not with them, but no.
Stay like this, stay!
He'll probably eat you for supper. Well, Glasgow putting the pressure on the scrum as it burls round. It might be a reset, but it's an illegal scrum, says referee Pascal Gazelle.
It's the 30th penalty of the game.
It certainly has dominated proceedings, but also the way that Glasgow have played as well. They've dominated by commanding the possession. Well, he'll be pleased with his cohorts this afternoon. Dave Rennie, and Glasgow will return to Pro 14 action. They've got Zebra, Dragons and Leinster next, whereas Sale will move on to play against Exeter and Saracens, Tigers and Gloucester before February is out. Well, we understand that Sir Alec Ferguson is in the AG Bell Stadium.
Straight.
He was once quoted, "You can't win anything with kids." Well, the kids will have learnt something today in the Sale Sharks jerseys.
Put the ball immediately.
They have been put to the sword, but they've fought every inch of the way.
Crutch.
But it's Glasgow who had to come to the AG Bell Stadium and get a bonus point win to get 1 foot into the quarter-final stages, and that place will be confirmed tomorrow depending on other results. We'll clarify that just at the end of the game as Yard takes the ball on and fighting once again as Tom Curry round that flank once again. The pick up in the second row by Postlethwaite. Cooper Woolley goes for another little drive. This is good by Sale Sharks. Can they have the last word within the game? Glasgow have conceded a penalty, but the Sharks go once again round the fringes to try and have one last say in this game. War. This is Redpath, tackled by Jones. Outside is Williams. The long pass on the wide outside channel. Oh, it's dropped. But they'll come back for a penalty. Tom Roebuck, with the line in front of him, spills the ball.
Yeah, it was Cabell who just came back in an offside position, made a tackle.
Never onside, it's clearly offside.
Yeah.
So Rob Webber calls in his troops and says, "Come on, boys, let's have one last scrum." As George Turner looks on alongside Adam Nichol.
Never onside.
So the last play of the game.
Trudge. Fine. Set.
So the ball's fed. Can Sale stay strong in this scrum? It's gone down, so it'll be a reset.
You cannot use it because you collapse scrum first. Maxime on your side, I think.
It's okay.
You are far, I'm close. You are very far, you. I'm better pictures than you. Thanks. Crutch. Fine. Set.
Still Sharks, who scored a try through Jake Cooper-Woolley.
No, the ball is
Pressure comes on in the scrum. Tom Curry takes ball on. War looks for the pass and the presence of the second row Phillips. War once again, this time to Weber. Oh, the crowd are certainly roaring on as Cooper-Woolley is stopped, what, 3 metres from the line?
No!
So they're still Sharks, they're fighting to the last minute, aren't they?
Back!
Pick and go. Kebble's in with a tackle there for Glasgow Warriors. Round the corner goes Ross Harrison, who's been on for the full duration of this match. They drop forward, and Sale once again, they're going to hammer this Glasgow line as Harley comes in with the defensive chores. Ball's at the back there, so War's going to have hands to this one. You could throw a blanket over the top of the Sale Sharks scene. There's so many in there. Overhead pass on the wide outside channel. That was forward, so that try from Tom Curry will not count. It's forward. The final whistle goes from Pascal Gozer. Well, Glasgow have done what they needed to do. They've beaten Sale Sharks with a bonus point victory, and their qualification now depends on tomorrow's matches, featuring Saracens and Gloucester, who take on Racing and Toulouse respectively. Confirmation then of the final score here at the AJ Bell Stadium. It's the Sale Sharks 7, Glasgow Warriors 45.
Yes, thank you, Jill. Two very broad smiles here, Ali Price and Captain Ryan Wilson. Ali, we'll begin with you. A comprehensive victory. You were on the pitch for 57 minutes, but you did enough for Austin Healey to give you man of the match. That's a pretty pleasing evening's work.
That's very kind of him. Thank you, Austin. No, we knew we had to come and, regardless of other results, put out a performance that we were proud of, and I think in patches of that today we showed what we can do with the ball, and some of our defence was really good. I think if there's anything to take out of it, a discipline needs to improve, like for the latter part of the season. I'm not sure how the results have fallen, but I guess we did our job to try and make the top 8.
Well, I can confirm you are currently in the top 8. You're in 8th position, so results tomorrow will affect things. You're going to ask for a few favours from your French friends, Racing and Toulouse.
Yeah, it'd be nice if Finn and the boys could do a job for us. Saris have gone pretty fully loaded tomorrow, so that's going to be a tough game for them. But yeah, look, hopefully the results go our way and we can scrape in. We had to do our job tonight, and thankfully we've come away with a good win.
And it was an all-court performance, really, Ryan. Plenty of tries, all scored through different means for a captain tonight. That must have been very pleasing.
Yeah, it was pleasing. You know, we came up here, came down here, sorry, and we know what Sale are like down here at home. They pride themselves on being a solid team here. Big forward pack, it always is when you come against these English teams, and forwards did well, but also the backs, they tore it up as well. So, yeah, chuffed to bits.
So are you going to be an anxious spectator tomorrow? Where will you be watching those games?
Yeah, I'll be watching it somewhere with the kids screaming and shouting around the house. So, we'll be watching it, but we've got a little bit of time off now. So enjoy that. And, yeah, hopefully, like we said, Racing will do the job and Toulouse can do it as well.
That's what all Glasgow fans will be hoping. Is there part of you, Ali, that rues some of the other results in this pool? That one against La Rochelle, the draw against Exeter last week, you could already be celebrating the quarter-final place.
Yeah, we if we look back and tomorrow results don't go our way, I think definitely the La Rochelle at home game would be one that kind of, I don't know, things would have been so much different for us. But look, we had to just come here and get 5 points and try and put ourselves in the mix. We've done that. Let's see what happens tomorrow.
You've done that in some style. Congratulations to you both. Ali, you are the man of the match. And here's Matt Savage with your trophy.